So, about a month or two ago, we did a kind of part 1 to this video, so go check that one out first if you want to see like the other top 10 Pokemon we covered, and today we're going to do the second part, and if we do hit 700 likes on this video, you guys can expect a part 3 as well. By the way, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about those Pokemon out there that seemingly just have a single stage or just have an evolution, but not a pre-evolution to complete the full evolutionary line. So that's what we're looking at today, guys. The top 10 Pokemon that really need to get pre-evolutions in Generation 9. So let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Halucha. Now, Halucha to me is one of those Pokemon that is freaking fantastic, but oddly enough, it never got an evolution or a pre-evolution. It's always remained a single-stage Pokemon. And here we have the piece of artwork made by Batafart, who actually made a fantastic artwork to kind of symbolize what that would look like. We've basically got a kind of mini version of Halucha with essentially an eggshell on its head. This would be the egg that it's coming out of, as it is a bird. And considering the kind of design of Halucha is based on a luchador, right, which comes with its name, which are basically wrestlers. Now, taking that into consideration, you can see how with this design here, you have a similar thing going on with the giant cape, which is kind of what some luchadors do, you know, they kind of do the whole long cape and make themselves look really like almost like a superhero type of vibe. And with the cracked shell on its like face, kind of covering it up, it looks adorable and fantastic. And this is a Pokemon, again, it only has a single stage, so it'd be nice to give it a little bit of extra love by introducing something like this. Next is one of the original Gen 1 Pokemon. Of course, we are talking about Onix. Now, Onix is oddly enough really forgotten, but it did get sort of an evolution, right, because it got Steelix, but it would be really fun to see what an Onix looks like when it isn't a giant behemoth. And here we have a little bit of what that could look like. So this was made by Deku-kun on DeviantArt, and basically this is Roki. And Roki is essentially a pre-evolution of Onix, a smaller version of what Onix would look like. So imagine Onix being gigantic, right? Whereas Roki would be way smaller, maybe the size of like a dog, right? Like an average, you know, sized dog, so to say, in terms of its actual size. I imagine that would be pretty cool, and it could give us a bit of a different perspective on what Onix would be like, because normally we assume Onix would be gigantic, huge, and really, really just dangerous to have around. But with this, you could have a, you know, tinier version of that, which isn't as dangerous. So, we have another Pokemon here that technically has another evolution, which is Licky Tongue. Now, I like Licky Tongue, okay? It's a weird Pokemon, it's odd, it's strange, but that's kind of the point of it, right? It's not meant to be a normal Pokemon, it's meant to be this strange little creature, but imagine if it had a pre-evolution, and I think this design here is basically what I'm imagining. Something like this would honestly be bloody fantastic, like genuinely freaking fantastic. Now, I'm not really sure who made this, I'm gonna be honest and say, I couldn't find the exact source, but this design speaks to me, okay? I like it. It's cute, it's adorable, it's still got the giant-ass tongue, which is really weird still, but hey, that's kind of the point, right? Of a Licky Tongue pre-evolution, and this speaks to me as a decent design that will kind of get that whole point across. Now, next is one of my personal favorite designs ever. This was made by Greg and Raid. Now, Greg and Raid is fantastic. He's made some amazing designs, and this has got to be one of my personal favorites because we featured a few in the last video, but this is Singlin. Singlin is basically the pre-evolution of Ace-Q. Now, Ace-Q, of course, is a brand new Pokemon, so you might be wondering, okay, well, it's a brand new Pokemon. Why would I want to expect, you know, to have a pre-evolution for it? Well, I think this would be a design that would make it worthwhile. Ace-Q is a cool Pokemon, right? It's legitimately just a penguin with just a giant block of ice on it. But now imagine what that would look like pre-evolved. Well, basically, it's a popsicle. It's literally a popsicle. That's what Singlin is literally looking like. It's just a straight up popsicle, and I love it. This is adorable, just freaking adorable. The design looks amazing. I am the biggest fan of this. Like, I have no other like metaphysical reason for liking this. It's genuinely just because it looks freaking amazing, okay? It just looks cool. There's no other reason. It just looks cool, and I wanted to have it on here because of that specific reason. Is Ace-Q an underrated Pokemon? Definitely love. People love Ace-Q, so it's definitely not underrated, but I still think this should be a pre-evolution for it. So next up is one that I know a lot of people really do want to see, as we haven't really had a brand new evolution in a very long time. But what if we got a pre-evolution to Eevee? Now, yes, it sounds crazy, I know, but well, your boy Greg and Ray did it again. He designed something that basically represents exactly that. We have ourselves here Eevee, which is basically the pre-evolution of Eevee. Right now, In one way, you could say, well, is it necessary? Well, not really, right? In logical terms, it's not that necessary for us to have this because, well, we technically already have all those evolutions and we have Eevee as itself, but what if we just went an extra step and made a pre-evolution that's even smaller and cuter than freaking Eevee? Well, I wouldn't mind it, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if we're not gonna get any more evolutions, as has been said by a few different people out there, that, hey, I think that's, you know, the end of evolutions has already happened, so, hey, if we're not gonna get any brand new evolutions, what about a pre-evolution? I would not mind that, so I'm definitely on board for it, and this design here speaks to me. Next is a really curveball, but it's again from Greg and Raid, and this one is really interesting. So you guys may remember Tropius. Now Tropius was one of those Pokemon that legitimately is super underrated. It's such a cool concept, right? Essentially a banana tree, so to say, of a Pokemon, but it was so like forgotten in a sense, right? Not many people mention it, not many people like use it. It's just an often very overlooked Pokemon. Now imagine if it got a pre-evolution like this here, Tropud. Now Tropud is also designed by Greg and Raid, and it basically shows you what a pre-evolution of a Tropius could look like, right? Essentially having the bud of that giant tree that, you know, Tropius has at the back, like its giant kind of like palm looking trees, you know, for wings, having those not really developed yet. So instead it's just a bud. It's just the bud that's about to bloom into the fantastic beast it's about to turn into. So I'm definitely on board for this, as I think it's a cool concept, and having a pre-evolution for it would be pretty interesting to show some love and appreciation for a Pokemon that again is oftentimes very overlooked. Next is a pre-evolution for Ardena. This was made by Ikaro382 on DeviantArt and basically shows you what an Ardena pre-evolution could look like. Now Ardena does have its, you know, Mega and whatnot, so it technically already has a little bit of that, but what if we got a pre-evolution just to kind of finish off the evolutionary line for it, right? Just kind of like to cap it off nicely. That's why I think this could work really well, and the design looks cute, so again, I'm on board for that. Next is a curveball. Now this is Nazsid, and this was made by Smiley Fakemon, one of the most long-time Fakemon creators of all time, and this is basically a pre-evolution for Sigilith. Now Sigilith is one of those Pokemon that oftentimes, again, very often forgotten, but I think a Pokemon that's generally useful with its typing, right? Now imagine if you got a pre-evolution, a strange creature like Nazsid here. Now Nazsid is basically a smaller Sigilith. It's got less of the things tangling around, less of the size, and just a small kind of like a little ball just floating around in the sky, and I do like that. I think it's a cool concept. Again, I like it. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let's go to the last ones. So the penultimate Pokemon on this list is going to be Snarl. Now Snarl is a pre-evolution of Sneasel, and oh boy do I like this. This was made by Great Mick on DeviantArt, and it's basically, you know, Snarl is a strange Pokemon here, as you can see. So Sneasel, first of all, has already got like an evolution which is Weavile, right? So you already got that in one sense. But here's the thing, again, I would love for it to be capped off, right? To have like a full 3-stage evolutionary line to kind of finish off the whole, like, you know, family tree, so to say. And imagine a smaller Sneasel, like a smaller one with smaller kind of claws that haven't been fully, like, you know, grown out just yet. And it's just kind of one of those Pokemon roaming around out there, kind of, you know, in the wild, doing just weird things, or out in the mountains, just kind of trying to survive through the winter. Well, this is the sort of Pokemon I think would do that, and that's why I think it should definitely get itself a pre-evolution. So this one's going to be really out of the ordinary, but I'm gonna put Lugia here. So yeah, now this might sound weird, okay? But let me explain what I'm talking about here. So basically this is a design made by Pekka Dark Velvet. Now he basically made Rugia. Rugia is essentially a pre-evolution of Lugia. It's a baby version of Lugia, right? Now I freaking love Lugia itself, okay? It's one of my personal favorite Pokemon. It's literally my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I just remember that one kind of like weird moment within the Pokemon anime where there was an actual baby Lugia. Now imagine if we actually had a pre-evolution of Lugia. Now, of course, it doesn't make any sense, as usually, you know, legendaries don't really have evolutions, pre-evolutions, etc. They're usually just a single stage Pokemon that really, you know, just that's what they are, right? But as we've already seen, there technically are smaller versions of Lugia, so why not have an actual pre-evolution, like a proper pre-evolution of it that you can catch and then evolve all the way into big Lugia, like a proper Lugia, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing with this, and that's what I want to get from this. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, then drop a like down below and make sure to subscribe for future Pokemon content, as we will be providing more and more new videos as time goes on. So again, thank you so much for the love and support. I freaking love you guys for the support recently. If you guys want to see a part 3 of this video, then drop 700 likes down below and you will see that very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.